Miracle Mile is a 1988 American apocalyptic thriller film written and directed by Steve D. Jarnett, starring Anthony Edwards, Mar Winningham, McKelty Williamson, John Agar, and more.
Well, hello.
We must have been meant to be together.
It's too bad you have to work tonight.
Only till midnight.
Fate is a funny thing.
Take a nap, because you're going to need all your energy tonight.
It was one of those strange nights.
Finally meet the right girl and you blow it.
That could ruin your whole day. In a big way.
Dad, it's happening. This is it. This is really it. This is the big one.
This is a joke, right?
It's really happening.
This can't be true. We'll all be dead if we don't get out of here.
Nobody believes this, do they?
Not me. Not Spongy.
Make a list for me. People who we want to bring along.
We gotta get Julie. Who's Julie?
Harry Belafonte.
Who are you? Who are you?
Stop and let me off.
I don't stop for nothing. Jump! Don't hurt me, man. I got Nakamichi Pioneer. I got everything. If it doesn't happen, I'll pay you. If what doesn't happen, man? I'm dreaming. That's it, I'm dreaming.
Y'all ready to go? You the pilot?
Hey! Hey, you know anybody who can fly helicopter? Helicopter pilots.
All the helicopter pilot bars are closed.
What's the problem? It's true.
Love can be exciting,
Trust me with this.
even terrifying.
Julie!
I love you.
But nothing could prepare you for an experience like this.
What is the truth, Harry?
Miracle Mile.
Listen, I'm just a guy who picked up the phone.
Welcome back to the Cult of Films. I'm John, the host, and apparently the bomb didn't go off because I'm talking to these two plebes. That's right, I have Johnny Mulligans and Coleman Yeti. Welcome back to the Cult of Films, gentlemen.
Oh, thank you, sir. It's great to be back.
That was a beautiful intro. I loved it, really.
You
Nailed it on the first.
That's I always do. Don't tell them how the sausage is made. Speaking of sausage, we are talking about a post-apocalyptic film from 1988. This is one of the films that is definitely more interesting, at least to you two, because I already kind of know where you guys are coming from on this one, because I actually like this one quite a bit. But the stories surrounding this one might be more entertaining than the film itself. So this was another film script on the Hollywood blacklist, which is a little bit different from getting blacklisted from Hollywood. The Hollywood blacklist is a group of scripts that are very loved that just they don't have homes yet. So Miracle Mile was an adaptation of a Walter Shaw novel, and newcomer for the first time, Steve D. Jarnett, he was awarded the rights to this. He put out $25,000 of his own money that he earned for writing Strange Brew to option this, so he had the shot at it. Warner Brothers didn't want him to do this so much that they paid him $400,000 to not make this film. That's how important in 1988. Think about how much money that really was. They wanted to put all this money just to not see his vision of this film. So it didn't happen, right? Well, no. He balked at the money, and he made it anyways. This film was in development hell for 3 years. He shopped it around, finally winding up on Columbia Pictures, where they took a chance on it, although they really didn't like the idea of having this hybrid 80s romance mixed with nuclear thriller, so they tried everything in their power to shut it down as far as the ending goes, because they wanted a more 80s optimistic ending, and it turned out that with the backing of star Anthony Edwards and everyone else, kind of stuck to their guns and took on and made the film that they wanted to make, true to the novel and true to the tone of the source material. So with all that said, gentlemen, what did you think about Miracle Mile? And we'll start with Coleman.
I thought it was the most 80s thing I've seen in a very long time. I thought it was great. It starred Goose. The love interest was played by Brian Bosworth from the 80s Seattle Seahawks.
It never gets
old. It had Bubba, as well as uglier Dolph Lundgren.
Yes.
So the cast was amazing. it just had every great 80s stereotypical trope that it could have, including the super over the top business lady that just, shouts gibberish into a phone, but trying to sound as official as possible. So it was entertaining. Not good, but it was entertaining.
All right. So we have a little bit of dissension in the ranks here. We got kind of a yes and a no. Johnny, you're the deciding vote.
So, see, you talk about the ending, and the ending is what put the bow on this movie that was a steaming pile. It was so bad. There was so many over-the-top, hyper-dramatic acting pieces throughout the entire movie, plot holes, things that didn't add up, but at least the ending. Can I spoil it? Can we spoil it? Are we spoiling?
We'll say spoilers from here on out.
Oh, it's since '88. If you haven't seen it, it's your own fault. I'm sorry. The two main characters, they killed them off. They died. It was perfect. It was great. I gave it automatically 2 stars. Eventually, everyone dies because the premise is nuclear war. But I love that the people who kept making dumb choices in the entire movie got what was coming to them, and that was like, yeah, that's what I was looking for. I didn't realize how much I loved this movie until I saw the ending.
Kill them all.
Exactly. It was great.
And I'm going to totally disagree with both of you schmucks. I think this is the best nuclear thriller film since Kubrick's Dr. Strangelove. I think it's fantastic. The movie starts out as a typical 80s schlocky romance with 2 very unattractive leads, but it's the 80s, so I mean you can't really fault it that way. But I mean, Jesus, Mar Winningham's haircut is that of Macaulay Culkin's in Home Alone. It is, I don't know if she looked old or young or both. I was very sexually confused in all the wrong ways. Usually I like being sexually confused, but this one was not it. As the kids today say, it ain't it, dog. But yeah, it's typical 80s schlock at first, this romance between the two. He even gets to meet the grandparents. They go out for a meat tube, a.k.a. a hot dog, until we get to a point where the two decide to meet up, but he sleeps through his alarm for reasons. He gets a random call on a payphone with an unknown person on the other end saying that basically nuclear Holocaust is about to happen. Russia and whoever else and the U.S. are going to throw a bunch of nukes at each other. And that's where the movie really makes this turn and really makes this switch from being your typical schlock to being this crazy thriller. And I mean, from then on out, you are in real time. The person on the phone says you have about an hour of the film left, and you see just how fast, how forcibly humanity breaks down with that little of time to prepare. And I think they captured that perfectly, especially for a first-time writer-director.
I don't feel like the breakdown of society happened in a moment. So, they talk about the fact that it's supposed to be rush hour and whatever, and there's nobody in the streets. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly it's 100% pandemonium.
Right.
So I don't know how everybody woke up and found out at the exact same time what was happening.
The rumor mill in LA was strong back in '88. That was impressive. Like this, apparently, nuclear silos in the Dakotas have long distance to the West Coast. So fun plot hole there.
Yeah.
To a random phone booth, and then Edwards picks up, is like, oh God, is this a prank? You're just joking, all right? He goes and has his nervous breakdown. The chef busts out his gun, get everyone's attention, and then Tasha Yar just happens to have a suitcase and just happens to have a cell phone, just happens to have dated some dude in the Rand Corporation.
A corded cell phone from a briefcase, Johnny.
Pardon me for not being up on my technology. Seriously.
That's how you know it's real.
Oh God. It was like, I swear to God, this was a movie that Shatner should have been in, but they just couldn't swing it on the budget. Like it felt, the over dramatization in the acting was so cheesy sometimes. It was just, oh God. It was painful to watch until the end.
Not sometimes.
Then it was
the whole
fine.
time. It was so cheesy and over the top the whole time.
The absurdities. This is a movie of absurdities and poor choices, poor life choices in the final moments of your life. everybody's just needing to go find someone because they got to bring somebody with them on this hypothetical helicopter on the top of a building when the nukes are about to go off.
And again, I'm going to be
no
more
one's thinking this through.
I'm going to be more complimentary to this film rather than these two scrubs. But this is a scene in the movie. Our protagonists are on top of a skyscraper with a helicopter leaving to escape the end of the world to Antarctica. And Anthony Edwards decides to go down at 5 a.m. in L.A. to ask random street sweepers and gym goers if anyone is a helicopter pilot. That's a thing that happens in this film. I mean, you can't make this shit up. As far as the performances go, Anthony Edwards was good. He was the third choice to play this role. You had Nicolas Cage and Kurt Russell that both were offered the roles and for whatever reason didn't get it or turned it down. Mare Winningham, again, probably could have been better if her haircut was better. I just can't get over it. It's just awful to look at. McKelty Williamson as Wilson. Okay. Wilson, really? Bubba Gump, and now he plays a role as Wilson. This is the Tom Hanks extended cinematic universe, apparently. Too bad that the volleyball had more charisma than Wilson in this film. No, I thought he did pretty well. He was pretty funny. He's just like random, like, don't look at my trunk, guy. Like he always gets too much shit in his trunk.
I had to squirt him. They didn't have to shoot.
Yeah. They didn't have to. Yeah, the cop didn't have to randomly point her gun in the air, covered in gasoline, just fire it, just burn themselves alive. I was like, there's cops being like, screw it.
Yeah.
No pension here.
The constant ramp up. Your Coleman, your favorite scene in the movie, because you're a pervert, it was the one where the chick pops out of the bathroom in the co-ed gym, right?
For no reason. Yeah, just pops out completely naked, no reason.
Yeah.
First he sees a guy with a sick mullet. It's like, how's anyone a helicopter pilot? And the guy looks and he's like, oh shit, and runs away. And then he runs by and the door randomly pops open. Naked chick pops out for no reason outside of it's an 80s movie. And they said, God, we got to get some Bush in this movie.
Gotta have it.
Somewhere.
Gotta
and
have
I'm
it.
going to be less complimentary to this movie in the fact that, let me point out that not only did the lady with the corded phone randomly in a diner was she able to put together all these helicopters and airplanes and everything to fly to Antarctica, but she also had all of the strings to pull to create a whole new like commune in Antarctica. This lady on the phone got everyone flown out and is taking them all down to repopulate the Earth in the South Pole.
4 a.m. in a diner. Happens to know the cook. This all adds so many things in this movie totally add up in make-believe math. Yep.
It's Tasha Yar. All she had to do was say, make it so. They couldn't afford Shatner, so they got Natasha Yar.
That was great, too. Like, it's like, yeah, there she is. I know that person. Awesome. And then, like, 15 minutes later, nope, already got on the first helicopter.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what happened.
That's what I'm saying, because if you really think about it, the people in the diner that he's initially telling everyone the shit that's going down, they're the only bits of humanity that make it, right?
Hypothetically. But even then,
as far as
I don't even think that was realistic, because let's be honest, if they hadn't gotten it, like, you had to be at the airport and in the air as soon as you heard the phone call. Let's be perfectly honest, because if you weren't,
everyone in the taco truck lived.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
That makes the movie worse. I can't believe that. That can't be the truth.
Everyone had to die.
Everyone had to go. Anybody who wasn't already south of the border on an airplane had to die. Otherwise, this movie's a complete wash. I'm sorry.
I give this movie, I think, more marks personally because, growing up in California from the age of 0 to 10, my grandfather lived on like Fairfax and by La Brea, so I've eaten at that diner. We went to the La Brea tar pits quite a bit. So it was just that nice, familiar feeling, kind of similar to like what you were saying about Ocean Shores in the movie Safety Not Guaranteed, Coleman. It was just that nice, like, oh shit, I've been there, and that's extra fun to point out when you get to do that, when you see these places that you've actually been. And they do a good job of utilizing a what is like the actual Miracle Mile in LA is always a hustle and bustle, and the fact that they just shot this at the ass crack of dawn every day is literally how they were able to pull this off, where there was like no one on the road, and that was cool. They went the extra mile to shoot this movie. Huge credit needs to be paid to first-time writer-director Steve D. Jarnett for sticking to his guns, giving a big middle finger to Warner Brothers, Columbia Pictures, and everyone else, and saying, no, we're going to not just make an 80s schlock film where the couple gets to live, where, you know, they pop out of the tar pits, and they're like, hey, we're okay, and Papa, you know, Grandma and Grandpa are fine too, and they're eating crepes or some shit. Like, no, they killed everyone. As Anthony Edwards says, it's the insect's time. I like that. They went nihilistic, but they also, like, it ends on a nihilistic, optimistic note, which is really hard to balance, and I think they nailed that. If I were to rate this out of 10, I would give it like an 8.5. I would definitely recommend this film. It is free on Pluto TV, I think. But yeah, I think I'm the one that's going to be most complimentary to this film. But would you guys recommend Miracle Mile?
I would recommend watching it altered somehow for the entertainment value. I'll give it a 7 in entertainment and a 3 for being good.
Yeah, you know what is it is for me, it is all about the ending. No matter whatever the faults of the movie might have been with the over dramatized acting, that feel of like a intro to acting class kind of thing. The lead and his girlfriend both die in a tar pit at the end, and that's the best part. I swear to God, that gave the movie 2 stars right there. They wrapped it up. Everyone died. I was like, oh, this is good. This movie's fine. Like, but if you only watch the first, 80% of it and be like, I can't take it anymore, and walk away, you're missing out. You are missing out on a full, complete experience of closure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to think they drowned in tar before they got blowed up.
You're allowed to, actually.
Yeah.
You're welcome to, because we don't know. We know
Right.
they're going to die, but you get,
Yeah.
it's like a pick your own adventure kind of book. They either burn up or they drown, and it's up to you, the viewer.
That's true. It's a beautiful ending. It's just like if humanity, the best that it could get to at the point in the 1980s was Mayor Whittingham's haircut, then we deserved to get blowed up. So there was a real poetic justice to the ending of this movie. But no, in all seriousness, I love this film. I think it's one of the better cult films that we have talked about on this show. My colleagues for the night did not think so, or as much, but it looks like you guys at least found some enjoyment in it. But 1988's Miracle Mile, where can everyone find you, Mr. Johnny Mulligans?
You can find me skulking around here on They Said We Said in the Cult of Films section, or you can find me on the Twitters at J_Mulligans. And that's all. That's as far as you need to look.
And Mr. Coleman the Yeti.
You can find me at Coleman Yeti on Instagram and Twitter. You can also find me at 2 Bananas Adventures on YouTube. It is a YouTube channel where a friend of mine and I go camping, and just kind of fuck with each other. So go watch that.
That sounds like a time. I am John the Host. I'm at John the Host on Twitter, or you can follow this very show at The Cult of Film. I will be uploading this to all of the podcasting sites as well, like your iTunes and Spotify's. Leave us a review on them. Tell everyone that we're talking about films. You could give us a thumbs up button below if you're not a dick, and tell us downstairs how we did reviewing 1988's Miracle Mile and anything else that we review on this very show. So until next time, let's not get blowed up.